Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike coming at you with the weekly news and review for February 25th, 2024. We've got more news this week. Seems like Hasbro leaks are dominating this week's Transformers news. There's a little bit of Masterpiece, a little bit of Legends, some more stuff to talk about, but more and more leaks for 2025. And I've got more to say about this. I made a video Thursday, but I've got more to say. It's not very often that Marvel Legends pictures get G.I. Joe fans upset. Well, G.I. Joe fans are very upset about this picture, and I'll tell you why. Thanks to our friends over at Toy Habits, we've got some more Motu news, and you might want to pay attention if you're in on any of these. This is long time ago revealed, and finally we might get our hands on them in a month. Ramen Toys putting out 1/18th scale item, and of course, lots of questions about that, so I'll show some clarity on this situation, but it's actually good news and exciting. And surprise, surprise, there's actually Star Wars news. Not a lot of Star Wars news, but I will talk about this and more coming up. Alright, so what is new at Show Z? We have the Action Toys vehicle Voltron. This one is the about 7-inch, 6 point something inch Voltron. It's actually Gundam it, not Show Z, but, and I'm not sure why, because it is robot, why they don't put it on Show Z, but this one here is approximately 5.91 inches tall, due out first quarter, so it's like coming in stock right now, but it's still listed as pre-order, and it is $62. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be available, but it's one of those things that it looked like it was sold out. Now it's back up for order. Pretty exciting. And for $62, it is only about 6 inches tall, but it's a pretty good looking figure. You don't see many vehicle Voltrons ever. Now, Blitzway is putting out this wonderful Voltron in a black deco. Some people are calling it the Nemesis Voltron, and I don't know the whole story behind it. I do know that Fantasy Jewel did make one, and it never was officially made by SOC, but Fantasy Jewel made one, and that thing is hard to get, kind of expensive, so I'm jumping on this one for sure, because I like this one the most. This is my favorite design, my favorite Voltron that they've made, and with that, I'm all over it, but it's very expensive. It is $579 without the extra weapons pack and stand. This separately, that's $269. It's expensive. It is what it is. But this is going to be short run, 1,000 units. You can pre-order it right now if you want to get in on it. It's going to be one of those things. When it sells out, a $579 figure that's short run sells out. It'll be very hard to get on the secondary market. And they've also got for pre-order, and yes, I pre-ordered everything I'm talking about. I have pre-ordered. This is G1 spelled G-I and then the O-N-E. But BSD01 Endless Equipment Poseidon Triptychon, and this is... So what people are saying is this is straight up a downscale of what Hasbro did to, let's see, the height of this, 11.02 inches tall. So it is going to be shorter than the Cyan Culture one. I don't know how big the Cyan Culture one is going to be, but I'm in on this $84, and it's up for pre-order right now. All right, so I don't know really how to start. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. This is the Takara Diaclone Mobile Fortress. Now, I'm not sure anything about this. There's just some pictures of it, and it looks pretty cool. Not sure about the pre-order or price, or if this already was released, but it looks pretty cool, and pictures from Uranus there, and it's a good-looking picture, good-looking mobile fortress. This is what I believe is that in the bot mode, and looks pretty cool too. So very interesting what they got going on with this Diaclone series, and not something I'm picking up, not something that I'm going to be reviewing, but it's still interesting, and I want to show some pictures, especially these are some good looking pictures, and you can see all about this. Very nice, very interesting. Last week we saw the Unique Toys mud flaps and skids in their alt mode. Now we see them in their bot modes, and if you're in on this kind of thing and this is something that you want, then you want to jump on it and get these. But here's the thing about this is that Unique Toys, again, said they weren't making any more toys, and now they're making more toys. So maybe they're not making G1 stuff anymore. They're going into the movie realm. I'm not sure what they're up to, and I think they'll probably be dipping their toe back into Legends. But they're going to be doing basically what's profitable for them, or what they view profitable. Anyway, mud flaps and skids if you're in on this. Here's another Optimus Prime, which I think this is Masterpiece scale, but I still don't have information. I read the translation, doesn't give size and scale and all that kind of stuff, but it's called the Snaean Deformation Series Mecha Machine Optimus Prime, and it looks cool. It looks interesting. I'm sure we'll get a lot more information about this going forward. We're going to pre-order it. Hopefully it shows up at Shozy. It looks interesting. It looks like something that a lot of the Bayverse kind of collectors would want to get in on, and I'm sure this is not just Optimus Prime. It's some sort of offshoot, and there's more to the story. I'm sure I'll hear it in the comments. Now, if you remember the collection space, and it was, I think, CS01 or something like that, that was a Bumblebee. So they're putting out a red, I guess it's a cliff jumper, right? You know, it's the O2, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think it's about 6 or 7 inches tall, something along those lines. But it is considered a masterpiece scale, and this turns into a bug, and that's why it's got all that kibble going on it. But it's really hard to make a Fembot that turns into anything substantial without some kibble, and that's just the way it is. I'm not sure if it's removable. I see some reviews. Maybe I should watch a review on one of these, but still pretty cool stuff. And if you're in on this, if you like the first one, then you'll like the cliff jumper version. All right, Fans Hobby has got their MB-25B Black Naval Commander. It's the Armada Nemesis Prime. They have pictures of this up. And as you know, Fans Hobby moves pretty quick. There'll be tons of pictures and probably pre-orders pretty soon on this thing. Looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. Anyhow, if you are in on an Armada Nemesis Prime, then Fans Hobby is doing it for you. So I literally forgot all about this. This is Transformers Masterpiece MP44S Optimus Prime Toy Deco. This is the G1 Toy Deco of the Masterpiece MP44. Includes the Matrix Energy Axe Blaster, an extra Toon Head blast effect, and stickers instead of tampographing. Here's the thing about this. I forgot it because we already pretty much got this in KO form. But here it is compared to the original. If you want the original Takara, then this is it. It's not going to come with the trailer, though. It is just the Prime by itself. Now, I think it's good that Takara's going to put it back out. You're going to get another opportunity at it, but I just forgot. They said no more electronics, and you can see the darker blue on the legs. You can see the differences, the variation. But yeah, that's a thing, and it's still coming. Premium Collectibles Studio is putting out a Unicron statue teaser, and he's sitting on a throne. No word on price, and it's quite interesting the way they did this. Would you want your Unicron sitting on a throne? Don't you want him standing up and taking over a world or something? But it's an interesting take, and I've never seen anything like this. So pretty cool, pretty interesting if you're in on this. Now, this is not colored yet. I don't know what color it's going to look like. I don't think this is the color scheme they're going to go with. But it is interesting, and the red line work on there, I'm sure will probably carry through. That's interesting. So it's been a light week on Masterpiece. Still kind of getting into the groove or back to business after Chinese New Year. But I do want to say this. We've got some cool stuff coming for Legends. So transitioning to Legends, this is a great picture of the Masterpiece Kang Toys Predaking and the Legends version of Kang's Toys Predaking. Both doing different things. They get to this different ways, but very impressive. Very, very impressive. And their Dinobots are impressive also. So it will be pretty interesting to see how all that pans out also. Speaking of Dinobots, I guess Iron Factory's making Dinobots. I never heard of this, but IFEX07 Azura is Knight's Trident is this one that they're making. And there is the alt mode to that. It looks like it's got tank treads on it. But I don't know much about it. These are just some pictures that have been floating around. Here is this one here. They call this Knight's Gladius. It's a Gladius. And yeah, it looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. Here is the alt mode that they are showing off. But the one I like the most, I mean, obviously the one that's coming next is the one I like the most. And that is what they call Crossbow. This is their Swoop. Swoop's my favorite by far. I really do like Swoop as all the Dinobots, and I will probably pick this one. I probably only pick the Swoop up out of the set just because I pretty much buy every Swoop that I see that comes along that is reasonable and decent, and this one looks pretty good. So Here's the alt mode to the swoop. I like that swoop. It's interesting how the wings look. This just looks different. It's got a whole different aesthetic. They do go for a stylized look, but it still feels classic enough to make me happy. So this is Iron Factory Spear of Barbas, and that's pretty cool. Interesting look right there. Kind of get like a Dreadwing vibe from it, but I'm probably way off on it. Here is the alt mode to it, and Iron Factory's doing a lot. They do a lot. They're one of those companies that will just blitz you with reveals, and then they're quiet for a bit, and then they blitz you again. But here it goes. Pretty cool looking jet. Magic Square showed off some Dino swords. Pretty cool stuff there in the Dino game, and they're showing that they're manufacturing some stuff. So it'll be pretty cool, pretty interesting, side by side with New Age to see how they go. I personally would rather buy different characters from Magic Square than what I've already got from New Age, so that we could fill out a new team instead of buying the same old characters from each company. That kind of gets old. So that's my belief. That's what I'm looking to do, hopefully. So this is a core class Cheetor. So we're talking Legends, but it's Hasbro, but it's Beast Machines. First of all, I don't even know how to watch Beast Machines right now. If I want to watch Beast Machines, I don't even know where to go. I remembered not exactly being excited for Beast Machines when it was out. I think I'll have nostalgia for it now just because I watched it back then. But I bought a few of the things back then. I picked up a pretty extensive collection of Beast Machines a few years back, and kind of waiting for this day so I can have some comparisons if I buy a few of the modern iterations and all that kind of stuff. But I don't hate it. I don't hate this at all. But I do remember the time I did. I did hate it. So I wonder how deep they'll go with Beast Machines, what all they'll do, and I'm just curious, and I'd pick up a few just to see what's going on with it. It's pretty interesting, pretty exciting. Beast Machines in 2024. Now, this is something I have not forgotten about. I have to tell you, I'm actually more excited for this, the Missing Link, than I am for the Takara Masterpiece toy version deco, because this is something that can open the door to maybe a Megatron, maybe a Shockwave, Soundwave, maybe a few others. I'd love to see what they do with the Seeker in the Missing Link. How could they change all this? How could they fix all this stuff that we've had problems with, I guess you could say, from the G1? How could they right G1 wrongs? But I think this is righting a G1 wrong. But with it, I'm pretty excited for this because, well, I've recently, 6-8 months ago, reviewed the KO of a G1 Prime, and now we've got this coming, which I think is vastly superior to the G1 or any KO of the G1. Here he is, and you can see the Matrix in the chest. You can see how he scales next to Jazz. If that's really a vintage Jazz, that's in really good shape. And you do have two options. You got one that comes with the trailer, one without. This picture shows articulation and what you can do that's different than what you can do with your current Optimus Prime. If you have the G1, you know that the legs do not go past the 90, so you can't move the thighs forward like this shows. This shows partially transformed and all the articulation in the arm, which is great, and it still looks super ultra G1. Yeah, great stuff. And with that, I'm actually going to squeeze this in here, even though this isn't mainline. This is still my transition to mainline, but this is the Yellow Park, and showing a lot of stuff Yellow Park's doing. I'm going to have a lot of trouble not diving into all of this. I told myself I wouldn't, but each one of these looks good. It's going to be hard not to, especially with the primes. And actually, I am considering putting together a video about why Optimus Prime is so appealing. Like, if you look at all this, my eye goes to Optimus Prime, and he's not a G1. So why is he so appealing? Mainline news is a lot of some reissues. We've got 2025 leaks and reveals. But one thing's going to be a crossover. So I didn't talk about that Thursday. There's a crossover to make a turtle van. This is Printformers that already made a transforming turtle van. And with that, we see a lot of pictures of other people's work of transforming turtle vans. before the crossover comes out. Now, this is a whole lot of fun, and I don't know if Pitformers is going to stop with what they're doing when that crossover comes out. I don't know about all that, but I do appreciate that this was created. Somebody's already done this. It's so much fun, and it gives you kind of a visual idea of what Hasbro might do. So, pretty cool. Pretty fun. Let's dive right into these Hasbro 2025 leaks. Now, I made a video Thursday, so I'm not going to talk about all of it, but this is the Bludgeon and Ruckus, Chop Shop and Barrage, Knockout and Minesweeper. Now, I made some claims in that video that we are probably going to see all of the deluxe Insecticons. There's going to be more leaks that prove that, actually. But, again, all of this is just leaks and speculation. None of it has been announced by Hasbro. None of this is official. Remember that. Nothing's official, so everybody is still speculating on all this, including myself. But let's move to the next one. I deliberately did not use these images. TFW 2005 is where I'm getting all this information, but I did not use their images in my Thursday video because I wanted to show you my thoughts on where I think they're going and what I think they're going to look like. So if you want to go look at that. But with that, we're going to run through this real quick, and we're going to have a deluxe Bumblebee. We're going to have movie Bumblebee, movie Optimus Prime. We're going to have a Transformers 7 Double Punch, which is a movie. We're going to have a Transformers movie Hatchet. We're going to have another Bumblebee for movie 6. We're going to have a refresh on the 86 movie G1 Perceptor. We're going to see a Transformers 1 Starscream, which is a whole different thing. Then we're going to have the Q, and I heard what the Q was. I forgot what the Q was. Then we're going to get into, now, the Deluxe 86 Bone Crusher. I didn't include it in my Thursday video. I actually pulled up a movie Bone Crusher, but I failed to even put that in because I didn't want the video to be too long. Now, getting into that Bone Crusher, and all of these, we're getting a Devastator, and nobody knows exactly what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's 100% all new from the ground up and nothing reused from the Combiner Wars era. We're also getting a refresh packaging on Jazz, and then we're going to be getting a War for Cybertron Autobot Soldier, Widowmaker, which you see as the right picture in here. Whatever Widowmaker is, that is it. I'm sure she'll transform into something. We're getting a War for Cybertron Skywarp, and the War for Cybertron Skywarp is probably the video game. We're getting the Optimus Prime PR refresh for a movie one. We're getting a War for Cybertron Ironhide, probably from the video game. Transformers Sentinel Prime. Thundercracker, probably from the video game. And then, I don't even know what Apeling is, but it's a movie thing. Another Optimus Prime from the movies. Shockwave from the movies. And then, Grimlock reissue with a package refresh. Also, I think you're gonna see on another list a G2 version coming out. I've already got this, so I'm all over I'm looking forward to the G2 version because I have this already, so I don't need this. And the packaging refresh will be interesting to see what they do. It's odd though, because when it comes to reissuing stuff like this, they usually just put it right back out. But maybe after so long, they no longer use that packaging. I don't know. But they're supposed to be going back to this packaging. But I still think it's going to be like a small window. You barely see his chest and face. That's probably what they're going to do. I'm so glad I made the Thursday video, because this would have been like an hour-long video had I not. So anyway, we're getting into Transformers Generation Legacy Unicore Beast Wars Dinobot. So a reissue of a Dinobot is what they're saying. Reissues of all this stuff. A G1 Sure Shot, G2 Breakdown, Armada Wheeljack, Cosmos. So we were supposed to have gotten Cosmos, and it sounds like a long time ago, but it's not really. Last October. So last October we were supposed to see a full case of Cosmos, but they canceled that along with 7 or 8 releases for Star Wars. Then we got Ramjet coming back out with a package refresh. We've got Voyager Tarn with a package refresh. We have a G1 Leader Overcharge and a refresh packaging of Galaxy Shuttle that a lot of people missed. So great stuff, great reissues, but let's just be real. The company's in financial trouble. That's why you're seeing so many reissues. Now more 2025 leaks of new items. And this, I didn't have this information on Thursday, well, Wednesday when I made the Thursday video, but here's more stuff. Before I go further, I want to say, when I noticed that almost every announcement was not G1, I made the statement that they will backtrack and they will go back to making more G1 stuff. And the timeline fits. So the last 6-8 months, they've been announcing non-G1 announcements, and they haven't been doing well. Now they're jumping on G1 stuff, and there's a reason. And that's why this is 2025. Because stuff doesn't get made in 6 months. It takes a lot of time for development and the distribution, manufacturing, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, getting into this, Transformers Generation Prime Deluxe Solus Prime. This is the Transformers Generation Prime and the 13 and combiners. So, Solus Prime, Air Raid, Fireflight. Obviously, you're seeing we're going to be getting a Superion. And it's probably going to be superior to what we got with Combiner Wars, which I still like the Combiner Wars one. But yes, it could have been better. It will be better with this one. And then we have Deluxe Animated Wasp. We have Deluxe Alchemist Prime. Deluxe Crasher Package Refresh for a GoBot Crasher, which I'd like to see them do more GoBots. Deluxe Swindle, Deluxe Micronus. And then here it is, Deluxe Venom. Deluxe Venom. I told everybody they were going to make it, and a lot of people pushed back on that. And I understand the skepticism about Hasbro completing a team. I truly understand that. But I had the gut feeling they would do it. Deluxe Skydive, Slingshot. Of course, we already knew about that. Then Voyager Prima, which I don't really know much about that. I don't know much about the Prima. What's going to go on with that? Armada Red Alert, Rescue Bots Heatwave, Robots in Disguise Skybite, Alpha Trion, Flatline, Leader the Fallen. Have they ever made a Fallen in the Leader class? The G2 Grimlock, which I've already talked about, and then Onyx Prime. You see why I do a separate video about this? This would have taken me hours to try to find pictures for all this. Some of my pictures would have been wrong. So anyway, let's move on. All right, I got more Transformers news. I'm going to defer to next week. There's just so much going on in the main line this week. But this is the Transformers Beast Wars BWVS07. This is the Air Raid and the Inferno. This is the Versus Pack, the Takara one. And I can't really tell the difference, but I think the blues are more of a teal on the Inferno. And they look good. I think they did great with this mold anyway, but I just kind of want to show this off. And Beast Wars collectors are getting a lot of great stuff. I don't know how much longer the Beast Wars is going to last, by the way, but with that, they might be getting replaced with Beast Machines. History rhymes, repeats itself. All right, so getting into some non-Transformers news, I do want to say, though, about the Transformers stuff, there's a lot going on, but 2024 is still very light for G1 collectors. There's a lot of different eras and a lot of stuff going on for non-G1, but a lot of G1 collectors are going to save some money in 2024, which you can save it up for 2025. So this is Ramen Toy and their Slavi, which is their 1/18 scale Machina Labs take on, well, it resembles a Slyrax, and it resembles a Piranha, but with overbite. Let me clear this up real quick. A lot of people are confused. Why are you going into 1/18 scale and doing 2 scales? This is in addition to. They never said they're going to remake all 30, 60, whatever vehicles that were in the original line, which I should know that by now with Mask. I've reviewed everything Mask. But a lot of people ask for 1/18 scale. There are people that are asking for figures in the 1/12 scale, and that's a possibility in the future. But the problem is that Ramen Toy does not want to make every single thing, the whole line again. They are accenting the vintage and doing something different in addition to that with this 1/18 scale. But so many people crave the 1/18 scale, it makes a lot of sense. I'd like to see what they can do with it too. See, when you get so small, there's only so much you can do. So getting it a little bit bigger, they can make the figure more detailed and make it look better, and the cuts and lines and all that will work better. Plus the vehicle itself will be better, and it's different. You could go get yourself a vintage one of these for like $20, complete in working condition. Maybe the windshield's broken, but this thing here is different, and I look forward to it. I think it's a really smart move to go into a larger scale, 1/18 scale, and start with smaller vehicles at a lower price point. That's just the way I feel. With Overbite, looks pretty cool. All right, so we got updated information on this new G.I. Joe game. It's the Wrath of Cobra. It will be available via PC via Stream, Epic Game Stores, and GOG with support for Windows, Mac, and Linux operating systems. Also on the Nintendo Switch, and I gotta tell you, I think I'd love to play. I haven't played my Switch for 2 years, and my son quit playing Switch too. So I don't see why not. Buy a Switch game, play it on Switch. So I played the other. Actually, that's what I played the other game on. I bought it on 2 systems, but played it more on the Switch than the PS4. Anyhow, it looks like a whole lot of fun. It looks like a good game. We'll see when it comes out, but I find these Joe games, they come out, and 3 months later, they're really cheap. And if you buy the used version, like $17, that's what I'm gonna do. So why are Joe collectors upset about Baron Zemo getting a hood? Well, it's an executioner hood, by the way, just like we saw with the vintage Cobra Commander. And it's like, hey, the same company saying you can't do Cobra Commander with an exact same hood as Cobra Commander is getting released with Baron Zemo. Now, there's thoughts on this that, well, Hasbro has the ultimate control of G.I. Joe. They also have the ultimate responsibility and the ultimate legal repercussions of using an executioner mask on a G.I. Joe character. Now, when it comes to Marvel, Disney shares that responsibility because they only license it, and that's the thought process. It's just silly, and I've never heard one Joe collector that is happy that we can't get Hooded Cobra Commander. I've got several Hooded Cobra Commanders in my collection from Vintage, and I don't got a problem with it. But anyway, this is what's going on this week. All right, so the DC Multiverse classic look Batman, Aquaman, and Green Lantern are being made by McFarlane, and I gotta say this: that Green Lantern looks amazing, and the other two look great. And so one of these is sold out somewhere, but I've got to say that I've already kind of got a representation, and I'm not deep into collecting this, so I'm not buying it at all. But fans are really happy for this, and I'm excited that fans are happy for it, and that McFarlane is doing some good work. I'm not sure. There was a whole wave of stuff that was online exclusive only for like $40 a figure, which I didn't even want, so I didn't even talk about it. I didn't even care. But something like this, I mean, it's priced. I think they're $30 a figure. They look good. They work, but DC Direct, due to ship in summer of 2024. So were you wanting to get your hands on some Rock On? You had to get up early in the morning and be up there because it came really fast and went really fast. Not really. I mean, I only watched it for about 30 minutes. I got mine right away. And then 30 minutes later, it was still up. And then I went, like 5 hours later, I checked and it was sold out. So I don't really know how long it was up. I'm sure somebody somewhere knows a better approximation when they sold out. But I don't think that that's horrible for going forward. If this is how all of the releases are, that if you're there in the first 30 minutes, you should be able to get it. I think that's fair. But I also think that is a sign for one of two things. I don't think they're producing more than they did in the past. I think demand is down. Interest is down. And we see this with Motu every time they do stuff. Motu demand dwindles. And there's only a handful of characters that get a lot of excitement or sell through. And that's because people are buying 6 or 8 of them. This one, I don't see people buying 6 or 8. They're waiting for the other ones as Rock On their Stone Dar or something that should be coming down the road. But yeah, fans want to finish this up. And it seems like Mattel is doing few and far between with these. So Toy Sorceress and Michael over there at Toy Habits, they're doing great work. This is their picture that they put together and the information that they're given as I guess they're friends of Mattel, so that's how they get the information. But here we got Lord Grasped, Terror, and Necroconda. And here's the weird thing. I wasn't super excited about all of these when they were first announced, and I forgot about them. But here they are. Now they're going to be coming up. They're saying possibility of Walmart Collector Con in March 21st and 22nd is when they think they're going on for pre-order. And if you want to get them, I absolutely hate pre-ordering anything from Walmart. They would literally screw you over and not ship it to you, charge you for it, not ship it to you, and you just have to watch it and see. Pay attention that other stuff's shipping, people are getting it in. It sucks trying to get it from Walmart. I really hate it. I really hate pre-ordering from Walmart. But I'll probably get a set just because it'll probably be limited, hard to get, that kind of stuff. But we're seeing the end. I mean, the end is near on this Motu stuff. And once Motu's over, so I don't buy anything from Mattel. Here's the Cartoon Classics Merman. Haven't seen one Cartoon Classics figure in any store, anywhere, in any store. I haven't even seen a Cartoon Classics in a comic shop. I've only seen them pre-order on BBTS or wherever else you can pre-order it online, and that's sad. It's also scary. This is not good. It's expensive. Anyhow, this is the new Merman that's going to be animation accurate, and according to Toy Habits, I'm thinking they kind of lean towards Super 7 did it better. I mean, not much better, but a little better. But this still looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. While I was pre-ordering my Rock-On, Mattel Creations has a lot of stuff on their site, and I was just curious, hey, what's selling out on there? The Turtles of Grayskull. Now, I didn't buy the first set I saw, so Target got one box in, and then 2 weeks later I got another box in, and literally it's 4 figures. It's Wave 1 came twice, and that's it. So I bought the second set that came in, and they were a bit beat up, but I got them anyway. It took me a while to dive in on this, but I kind of feel like this is one of those things. 2024 is the year of low production. These are hard to get. Anyway, you can still get Gwildor and Orko, $35. But I'm waiting for a sale that may not ever happen on those. All right, so there's Star Wars news this week. New media is hitting, and new media is announced. So, Acolyte. The Acolyte is on June 5th of 2024. That's the tentative release date for this on Disney+. Now, my wife canceled Disney+, and I really don't care. So I won't be watching it. And I'll just watch other people's reviews, and I'm sure it'll all be negative, whatever. But anyhow, I expect to see some positivity over this. So now we've got the Season 3 of The Bad Batch. I enjoyed The Bad Batch. I am pretty sure people are going to like it. But it's at a point, Star Wars, I've got a video coming for Star Wars. I've fallen out of love with Hasbro Star Wars. And I'm kind of back into Kenner. Filling gaps in Kenner. And I'm going to talk about that. If you feel the same way, let me know. But I think this will still be an enjoyable watch if you watch it. I don't care. I'm at the point I really don't care if I miss it or not. But it does look to be a good watch. It is on there right now. And I'm not even sure, are they going to show you like the first 3 episodes right now, and then you get the rest like every week, 1 or 2 episodes, something along those lines. Anyhow, it's been a while since I've watched a series on Disney+. So there's a Mandalorian game in development. I kind of think it's going to be along the lines of the Cal Kestis game, the Fallen Jedi or Fallen Order, whatever, Fallen Order. I didn't play it. My son played it. He enjoyed it. He had a lot of fun with that one. And going into this, I feel it's kind of the same thing with a first-person kind of shooter kind of thing. Anyhow, it's in development. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. But this day and age, is it going to be successful? I don't know. And this is an age of people really liking the online gaming experience and getting to do that, what they call multiplayer game, but it's really a single player. That's a whole road that I don't want to go down right now. Anyway, it's in development. Lastly, the Bantha Skull site had really pointed out that next year is a big anniversary, for the Power of the Force. It's 2025. What are they going to do for Power of the Force? I've got to say, Power of the Force is what solidified the stake in the heart of my collecting Star Wars, because I did not want to rebuy all the figures I already had, and there were 17 new figures, but in my perspective, there was only like a handful of new figures because I never saw all 17 at one time. But yeah, it was the end of Star Wars in 1985. The shows were not the greatest, the cartoons. So I've got more content coming surrounding that myself personally, but will Hasbro do something to maybe do Power of the Force stuff? Because I got to tell you, that retro 6-pack that had a Yak Face and Mon Mothma, that sold out. It's going for stupid money on secondary market. Anyway, what do you think? All right, so that's this week's news. It's a lot of stuff going on. There's even more going on that I just could not cram in. I'm way over my time limit here, and YouTube does punish me for going over 30 minutes for whatever reason. They didn't used to, but they do now. Anyhow, let me know what you think in the comments below. What else is going on out there that I missed that I might want to put in next week? Like, subscribe, and Tadirum Hanger out.